Does LeBron James make all of his teammates better, as a lot of voices in the media would like you to believe, or does he actually make his teammates worse? The reason we're making this video is because of an interview that Kendall Gill, a former NBA star, for those of you that don't know, had recently, and I get the scoop from basketballnetwork.net, and here's what he had to say about LeBron. He said, "I tell people this all the time. It's very hard to play with LeBron James. The reason why is because you have to completely change your game." And then he took Russell Westbrook as an example, which, although his numbers didn't look bad at all, they actually looked all-star level. Not like an all-star log, but if your team is doing well, you can be an all-star with the numbers that Russell Westbrook was giving to the Lakers, which were roughly 17, 8, and 8 as a third option. But we all know that Russell Westbrook on the Lakers was just a bad look for his career, and that after his stint with the Lakers, some people were actually questioning whether Russell Westbrook still belonged in the league or not. He's gotten that bad. And a lot of people were pointing out LeBron James, and they was like, okay, so Russell Westbrook, before he joined you, he was on the Washington Wizards putting up historic numbers. I believe he was still averaging that triple-double. He had a few 2020 games. Like, he was balling on the Wizards. And I'm not even a Russell Westbrook fan at all. But I'm objective enough to say that he was hooping on the Wizards. And then he came to the Lakers and he was like, oh, what the hell happened? So it's a lot to unpack here. In my opinion, the Russell Westbrook experiment was just a failure. But not because of any of those three individuals. It was just that he was a terrible fit. Some people, when they announced the moves, they just saw Russell Westbrook. They just saw the name on the back of the jersey, and it was like, okay, Russell Westbrook, LeBron James is a clear upgrade above guys like Dennis Schroeder or even Rondo, and they won the championship. And Rondo wasn't even a great shooter like that, although he shot the hell out of the ball in the bubble. So why can't it work with Russell Westbrook, right? And AD will be there. Russell Westbrook should be able to come in, take some pressure off LeBron James in the regular season, because we know that although his playoff performances have been questionable since KD left, we know that in the regular season, Westbrook can get you some wins alone. So LeBron James and AD will be able to rest during the regular season as Westbrook carries. So both of these guys can be healthy in the playoffs and the Lakers can go on the run. I believe that was the whole idea in why they went and got Russell Westbrook. But in my humble opinion, that was always a terrible fit, just because I was like, first of all, Russ won't space up the floor at all, and you don't want anyone clogging up the paint for either Russell Westbrook nor LeBron James. The Lakers were already lacking shooting before Russell Westbrook, although they still had Caruso, they had KCP, they had Kuz. I remember a lot of the complaining was that the Lakers shooting was pretty inconsistent. So, and then you replace shooters, or at least decent enough shooters, especially if you look at a guy like KCP who's shooting the hell out of the ball with Nikola Jokic in Denver, and you replace that with Russell Westbrook. So I was like, that's terrible. Plus, I was like, man, there's only one basketball, and if LeBron James is going to be efficient and dominant, he's going to need the ball, and Russell Westbrook as well. So I never liked the move. The other option was DeMar DeRozan. I think I would have liked that better for the Lakers, but still, I wouldn't have liked it just because DeMar is not shooting the three like that. So, although he could have closed some games for the Lakers, the spacing would have still been terrible. And I didn't even mention the defense, but that's not about this video. This one is about LeBron James, right? So, does LeBron James actually make his teammates better? As a lot of analysts keep on saying that LeBron James, every time they mention LeBron James, is two things that, and LeBron James is my favorite player, but they like to say he's a pass-first guy. And in my opinion, that's just nonsense. Like, LeBron James is a great passer, an all-time great passer, but he's not a pass-first guy. The guy has never averaged below 25 points ever since his rookie year, y'all. He led the league in assists once, but he still went and got his buckets. He's the all-time leading scorer. He's not a pass-first guy. He's a scorer that can pass. That's a big difference. And that can pass at an all-time great level. But again, not a pass-first guy. And the other narrative that they like to say about LeBron James is that it will make his teammates better all the time. And I do believe that to some degree he does. The first degree in which he does it is on the defensive end, in my opinion, just because it's the guy has arguably the best basketball IQ of all time. So just on defense, by communicating, being able to call out the opponent's sets and everything, it makes the game easy on defense for anyone that's with him. You just gotta be willing to listen, and it's LeBron James, so you're going to listen, right? So you got that. Plus, he got great leadership also, so that can help. He's also one of these guys that will showcase a good work ethic that a lot of people can take on and emulate just because it's LeBron James that's up there, 39, still working his ass off. So who am I not to work, right? So you got this aspect. Plus, I believe that LeBron James is a system by himself. Just like James Harden called himself a system, LeBron James has definitely been a system in the past, especially when he was very, very ball dominant and he's able to control the tempo, make the perfect pass. It's a lot of clips of players coming out saying that LeBron James learned each player's specific pockets to catch the ball so they can actually make the threes and everything. So he's great for role players. LeBron James is amazing for guys who do not need the basketball. Who cannot really create a jump shot like that, so he can just set you off on the platter either for a lob, either for a back cut, or just for a wide open three, just because he's the greatest driver of the basketball this game has ever seen. So it will make a role player better, most likely than not. Some role players fall off when they come and join a LeBron James led team. It feels like a lot of shooters just forget how to shoot when they play with LeBron James. But this has nothing to do with LeBron, in my opinion. It's just about the lights being too bright. But LeBron James is doing a great job for these guys. Now, when it comes to these superstar teammates, is LeBron James actually making his superstar teammates better? My honest answer would be it depends. It depends. It's not an overarching no, and it's not an overarching yes either. If we got to look at the different superstars that LeBron James has played with. He's played with Dwayne Wade. He's played with AD. He's played with Kyrie. And I guess for the sake of conversation, we're going to throw Kevin Love and Chris Bosh in the superstar conversations. I don't believe they're superstars. I believe they were just stars. But yeah, they were LeBron James' teammate. And we can see that Kyrie, for example, flourished playing next to LeBron James. Here's why. Because Kyrie doesn't need the basketball to score like that, to be efficient. Obviously, when you're giving the rock, he can create. He can be his system also. He can do all that. But Kyrie is able to be efficient on very few dribbles. Or you can just ISO him. You don't have to create nothing from him. And he's going to make the shot. He's going to create something for him. He can finish everywhere. He's a great spot-up shooter as well. So with Kyrie, of course, it would work. And Kyrie, sometimes he will struggle with actually figuring out the right tempo of the game, when to actually take some shots or whatever. So if you let LeBron James be the primary ball handler for Kyrie, then when LeBron passes the ball to Kyrie, it's because LeBron understands, okay, Kyrie, this is your time to shine, and he will go out there and do it, just like he did in Game 7 in the 2016 finals, right? And in that whole playoff front, especially against the Warriors. So he worked great with Kyrie. Overall, he's working amazing with AD, and it's because AD is a big. So although AD can need the ball also, as a big, it's way easier for a guard, because at this point, LeBron James is playing point guard, although he's a small forward, right? To actually create for a big and everything. Just the fit is great, so they work great together. Now we have Dwayne Wade. Was Dwayne Wade actually better alongside LeBron James or not? I don't believe he was. I believe he just maintained. He was still Dwayne Wade, but he had to sacrifice some of the basketball handling duties for LeBron James. But his game was not affected like that by LeBron James. What really affected Dwayne Wade's performance was the way he was actually his health. His knees pretty much gave up on him after 2013, if I'm not mistaken. And then he was never the same. He was still good, but he wasn't the same. And now we can look at the teammates that LeBron James actually made worse. We got Chris Bosh, we got Kevin Love, and Russell Westbrook. And why was that? Because it's only one basketball. And LeBron James, when you play with LeBron James, if you're a ball, you rely on having the basketball in your hand also. With LeBron, the question will be, would your team be better off with you handling the ball or with LeBron James handling the basketball. And 99% of the time, the team will be better off with LeBron having the ball in your hands. So therefore, you have to reinvent yourself and pretty much spot up, especially if you're not the number two option, but on the number three. Because if you're the number three, obviously that means that when LeBron James gets off the rock, it goes most likely to the number two option. So you'll still be in the corner spotting up and you have to change your game. And some will be better at adapting than others. And for that, we have guys like Kevin Love, who, if we take away the biggest moments, he did a great job at reinventing himself and evolving his game from a post-up players dominating in the paint to losing a lot of weight, becoming way more agile, and developing a deadly jumper from three. So if you look at overall, Kevin Love played great with LeBron James. Was he the version of himself from Minnesota? Absolutely not, right? But he was still doing great. It's just in high pressure moments, he didn't show up. And I don't think it's a LeBron thing. I think it's just a Kevin Love thing. Mentally, he never appeared to be that strong to me, with all due respect. Then we have Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh was good with LeBron James, but he wasn't great just because in Toronto, he was the number one option. And in Miami, he was the number three. He was the number three, and they still had Ray Allen out there. It wasn't a number three option either, but he commanded some plays called for him and everything. So Chris Bosh was still pretty good with LeBron James, but he had to spot up a little bit, and he did okay. I don't think it was great, but he did okay. Offensively, defensively was still the man though. So this is why we're still able to perform. But he did lose a little bit of I want to say performance level overall playing alongside LeBron James for the reason that I cited beforehand. And now we got the case of a guy like Russell Westbrook. And again, the fit was just terrible. So should we actually count that as a weakness in LeBron James' game that is so ball dominant? Because it's other superstars, for example, Russell Westbrook right now is playing with Kawhi and Paul George and James Harden. And other than James Harden, none of these guys are really ball dominant like that, Like what Kawhi has and Paul George has, they have that Kobe and Mike capability of making something happen in 1 or 2 dribbles. LeBron James will often sit at the top of the key, call for the screen, get the switch and everything, and he pretty much will eat off like 10 seconds off of the shot clock, and then he has to get into his motion and make something happen. So by the time he actually gets off the rock, it's only 8 seconds left on the shot clock. So for a guy like Russell Westbrook, who's not a spot-up shooter, obviously it's going to be tough. But playing alongside Kawhi, for example, Kawhi will just get the ball, 2 dribbles, and either pull up, or if nothing happens, he'll just get off the rock, and that's that. So it's way easier for a guy like Russell Westbrook to play with a guy like Kawhi. So is it a weakness on LeBron James' game? I want to say yes. Is it a bad weakness to have? No, because again, he's so good as a system himself that he can cover up for that. But that means that LeBron James cannot be just plugged in onto any team, just like a lot of people like to say, and it will work. I think that prime LeBron James could have been added to any squad, and then if you rebuild your team around LeBron James, you'll have a great chance as a championship. But you can't just say, okay, I'm going to just put LeBron with any superstar and he's just going to make wonders. I don't think that's the case. Or if it still works, it's because LeBron James is that great, but it's not because of the other superstar. You feel me? So this is my take about the whole LeBron James. Does he actually make his teammates better or worse? So we're going to close the video right here because this is a pretty lengthy one. If you made it this far, please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you guys for checking me out. We're going to be back with way more daily content for the year of 2024. Please get in that comment section, more important than anything, and give me your take about this whole thing. Does LeBron James make his teammates better or worse? And I appreciate you guys for checking me out, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.